Today I'm going to go over how to form your imperfect and perfect tenses in Latin. So we're starting off with the imperfect tense. And once again you can see the dictionary entry of my verb. For the imperfect tense, we will never use this first part here. So I'm going to go ahead and cross it out. Remember, laboro means I work. It's present tense. For the imperfect tense, we're going to use the second principal part, laborare. But I need to chop off the RE when I'm forming it. So take off that RE. And I'm going to plug it in down below. So labora and labora are my stems there. Then I need to add a BA to both of them. It doesn't have to be capitalized, I'm doing it for emphasis. This is third person, so we're going to use the same third person endings that we do for each verb that we used in the present tense. So it'll be T and NT. We don't have a subject here, so we're going to say he, she, or it. And then this verb means to work, so imperfect tense is was or were blanking. So I'm going to say was working. Then for my plural, we're going to say they, since we don't have a nominative, were working. So this is the imperfect tense. And this BA is going to help me recognize it. The T and NT helps me with the subject, just like it always did with our present tense. So what comes before the T and NT will change our endings. And we're always using this second part, the infinitive part, minus the RE to form the imperfect tense. So let's try another one. Intro, intrare. Once again, I'm using the second part of my verb, and I'm chopping off the RE. So intra is my stem for both parts. Then I'm going to add a BA because that's what makes it imperfect. And then a T for third person singular, and an NT for third person plural. The difference being third person singular verbs would be used with a singular nominative, third person plurals would be used with a plural nominative like puellai. Then when I translate it, since we don't have a nominative here, it'll be he, she, and it. The overall verb meaning is to enter, so I know imperfect tense is translated as was or were blanking. So this is going to be was entering. And then for intrabant, I'm going to have they were entering. So once again, this BA is what we add to make it imperfect. And then we add the letters T and NT. An imperfect tense is always going to translate as was blanking in the singular and were blanking in the plural. And we're just doing third person right now. So intrabant and intrabant. So we're taking our second principal part, once again, and cutting off the RE. So that's where I get the stem. Remember, the overall meaning is to enter. But look at how I translated these. Neither one of these mean to enter. It's he or she was entering, they were entering. Then let's do another imperfect. So once again, I'm taking my second part, chopping off the RE, and that's where I get my stem, MA, and a may. then I must have the BA to make it imperfect. Without that BA, it's not imperfect. You'd just be making a present tense verb. So a may bought and a may bought. I'm going to say he, she, or it was buying. And then I'm saying they were buying. So once again, the BA makes it imperfect. The T and NT tells you if it's singular or plural, he, she, or it, or they. But our imperfect tense verb will always translate as was blanking or were blanking in the plural. Once again, we are always using the second principal part. So this is the imperfect tense. The most important verb in the imperfect tense is the verb to be, sum, esse, fuit. This verb, remember the present tense, sum, est, and sunt, breaks our rules. It's no exception in the imperfect tense as well. It will also break the imperfect BA rule. The third person singular will be erat, and the plural will be erant. So we're not using anything up here because it's an irregular verb. So that means it breaks our BA. But it's still imperfect. It will translate as he, she, or it was. And then the plural, it'll be they were. We also have no being. I'm going to even erase it so it's no longer here. One of the most common errors I see is people trying to put a BA. There is no BA. The full imperfect tense is erat in the singular and erant in the plural. So spelling's really important. If we wanted to make this verb a different tense, remember present is sum, est, sunt, and the perfect form would be something else. So this is the imperfect form of this verb. It's irregular. It has no BA. Moving on to our perfect tense. For the perfect tense, we're going to use the third part of the verb. This is the only time that we actually use the third part of the verb. It's just reserved for that perfect tense. And when I use it, I'm going to always chop off the I. So EG is my stem there. And then technically I'm adding the I back in there, but I always want you to think of that you're chopping that I off. Because in the second part, we're attaching ERUNT to make it plural. So no I there. So that's why it's really important to use the correct stem so that you spell it correctly. So EGET there would be he, she, or it urged. And egerent would be they urged. So what tells you this is a perfect tense verb is the stem must always come from this third part of the verb where we get the perfect stem. Then it needs to have a perfect ending, either the IT or the ERUNT. So those make it perfect tense. So we'll always come from the third part of the verb, have an IT if it's singular, ERUNT if it's plural. It always translates with an ED, a blank. You can think of it as perfect because it's already done. This is our second type of past tense. So in Latin, it's really important to know your difference between your imperfect and perfect. And a big difference there is your perfect always uses the third part of the verb. Let's do another one. We have do, dare, dedi. So once again, we're only looking at the third part. And then I'm chopping off the I. So dead, D-E-D, it's going to be the stem for both of these. Then I'm adding an I-T to make it singular and an E-R-U-N-T to make it plural. My subject's going to be he, she, or it, and they, and then the plural. To translate, give, in the past, always rule of thumb, add your ed. Given doesn't make any sense in English, so I know it will be gave. If you were ever to translate it as given, that would be fine. But just make sure perfect tense is perfect. It's already been completed. So we're looking to make sure that our stem matches up, and then I've added IT and ERUNT to make this perfect. And my last one here, so once again, I'm taking my third principal part and chopping off the I. So conspects and conspects will be my stem. I'm going to add IT to make it singular and ERUNT to make it plural. It'd be he, she, or it caught sight of. And they caught sight of. Because catcheted with an ED doesn't make sense in English. It's not good English. So caught would be its perfect form. So once again, my perfect stem matches up with the conspects and the conspects. And then my perfect endings IT and ERUNT make this a perfect verb. You can still see that this verb ends in T and NT. All third-person verbs end in T and NT. It's what comes before it that will tell you the tense. So hopefully this has helped you form your different tenses.